Yeah. The comptroller? Yeah. hmm City or state official whose job is to look after monetary and fiscal affairs. His tasks include the examination and audit of accounts, keeping of records, and the supervision of those who collect public money. Oh. mm. Then there's that compulsion, the act of compelling the application of mental or physical force to induce the performance or the emission of an act. Yes. I've heard it said that somebody took your genitals. Mhm. And if you don't do what Mike Van Proyen says, he will apply what is known as the physical force of removing your sexual nerve endings. Yes. That's compulsion. We are not going to allow Paul and Marilyn to have consent of parenting. Yes. Because I, Mike Van Proyen, will take your genitals if you do that. Yes. And so I'm going to obligate you to the emission of an act of prosecuting myself. Yes. Now, somebody decided to sew some technology in, yes, that happened to attach itself to the sexual nerve endings of the police department, so that Mike could compel you to refuse to enforce the laws of the United States. Compulsion. If you don't do what I say, yes, I'm not going to allow you to use your erection. Yeah. Now, for all of those, that have some concern about the use of technology, yes, removing the sensitivity of your sexual nerve endings, it seems that this mental or physical force to induce the performance or the omission of an act, yes, is similar to saying right now, I'm in control. I have the technology, yes, and you as a police department will not have sex with any individual, unless you do what I say because that's the way that we're going. Now, compulsion. The compulsion to say, well, I paid, you do what I say. Oh! And if you don't do what I say, I'm going to remove your sexual nerve endings so that you will not be able to be stimulated. Yes. Now, yesterday, I mentioned the prostate. As I understand it, it is connected to the actual genitals of a man. And women might have one of them, but I don't know if they do or not. There's an illness that you receive, yes, as a male. Yes, yes, yes. From the compulsion, yes, of stimulating the prostate because of an overactive reading of the sexuality of individuals. Now, a long time ago, in my early 20s, yes, somebody might have said that I had a sexual addiction. I found out that after 10 to 12 times a day of having orgasms, yes, it caused a very serious nausea and can cause you to vomit. It's kind of like God put a safety switch in the male genitals that if you do that too many times a day, you'll get sick, really sick. Now, it didn't take but more than one time in my early 20s to realize the importance of the safety switch. Yes, that you just don't do it that many times a day. Now, I think somebody sewed into the prostate. Yes. They thought they could read the orgasms of 2 to 300 people a day. Yeah. Thinking that, well, I just have to know, and that's the way we're going to go. Not realizing that it caused an engorgement. Yes. Of the actual prostate. But since they had sewn themselves in, they didn't experience the nausea, the death. Yeah, I would say it's God that put in the male brain this safety switch that if you do that many times a day, you will get very, very sick. Because some men have an overactive compulsion, yes, to stimulate their sexual nerve endings, yes. Now, I'm wanting, oh, no, you just really press on that prostrate, yes, because, oh no. For those of you that have a compulsion to keep loading and discharging and loading and discharging, yeah, you've not experienced the vomit that you get from doing that. But today I want to puke every individual that thought, well, I can read that. I can read that. I can read that. Not read.